I'm Danielle Houston. I want to talk to you a little bit about making changes and what that looks like, right? So imagine the change you want to make. I'm guessing a health goal because you're watching my channel. Let's say exercise. Let's say you found my wheelchair Zumba classes and you're thinking, okay, I need to exercise, I want to exercise. Maybe even imagine how you're gonna look, when you're exercising and you're building your muscle and you're losing weight. So in this analogy I'm gonna share with you, imagine that the health goal you want is like a new house, all right? So let's say you wanted to exercise, and what is it you want to feel with exercise, right? So is it that you want to feel energized each day? Is it you want to feel good to say to your doctor, hey, I've been exercising? Is it to slim down? Is it to build muscle? Is it to be able to transfer in and out of your wheelchair easier? Is it so that you're able to reach down and grab things or put groceries away easier? Right, so imagine your goal. What is it? So imagine that what you want to accomplish is like building a new house. All right, so you've got your house right now. It's nice and comfortable. You know where everything is. You know there's a little, problem with the plumbing over here. Maybe there's a little leak over here, or it's a little drafty at this window. But you know it. You know your house inside and out, where you live. So imagine, in this analogy, that's where you are right now, right? You're where you are because of all the decisions you made up until this day, right? So there's certain comfort with staying where you are, and that's okay. That is normal, right? We are where we are today based on decisions we've made all along. So in this analogy, we're thinking of building a new house, right? So imagine you're like, okay, I want this house to be this big by this big. For my example, I want my house to be all one level, no stairs, wheelchair accessible everywhere, right? So imagine that new house, right? That is you making that change. Maybe the change you want to make is I'm having fruit every day, because your long-term goal is I want more mental clarity. I want to fight what's going on in my body with good antioxidants and help my body do the best it can. All right, so whatever your goal is, let's picture that as a new house. All right, so we're building this new house, right? If you're building a new house, it's not done tomorrow, right? It's gonna take a while, right? So I recently built a house, and so I know the process very well. It starts with deciding I want to build a new house, right? I decide I want to work out 3 days a week. It takes some planning, right? Who am I going to follow? I would follow Danielle Houston at Wheelchair Fitness Nutrition. But deciding, is it going to be online? Is it going to be at a gym? Is it going to be with this person? Is it going to be on your own? Is it going to be outside? Is it going to be virtually, right? So all of that goes into planning your house, right? So thus far we've planned it. We're like, okay, what is it I want in this new house? Why do I want a new house? Then you meet with someone and you say, okay, I have these ideas. This is what I want my house to look like. And the contractor says, okay, puts together a plan and says, what do you think? And my brain's like, well, how about we change here, and I want this window like this, and I want this floor like this, and maybe I want a room here, right? Because the architect doesn't know what you're thinking. So again, in our house analogy, it's like we tried. Maybe you decide, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym. And you go and it's like, oh, that was harder than I thought. Or whatever happens, right? Because we're building a house. You're gonna come up with things you're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that, right? Or the contractor comes up with stuff, I'm like, what? I didn't even know that was possible, right? Like when we built our house, just figuring out where to put light switches. I didn't even think that was a thing. But now that it's all built, it's like, oh, I wish I had a light switch over here. And why doesn't, obviously this light should go to that switch. Why is it over there? Right? Things I didn't think about. So again, in our analogy, we're building our house. We can see, we envision this. We're like, oh, these are the health results I want. I want greater mental clarity. I want to be able to think better. I want to prevent Alzheimer's. I want to prevent dementia, or I want to slow down whatever's going on in my body. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, so make this applicable to you. Okay, you're thinking about it. You wrote down some plans. You're like, oh, maybe that's a little different than I thought. Or maybe you try Zumba and you're like, oh my goodness, I do not know these moves. But don't panic. We're just building our house. We're figuring it out. Okay? So then you lay down the foundation and you get the walls started and you work on your house. And then sometimes it's stressful, right? They're like, where do you want your light switches? And my brain is like, I don't know. What do you think? Right? And in that moment, it's stressful and it's like, I just want to go back to my old house. When I'm in my old house, it's comfy. I know where the things are. I know where the drafty window is. I know the plumbing's leaking over here, but you know what? It's my house. I know where everything is. Okay, so I can't roll into that bathroom, but I can this one, right? We're like, maybe this house is fine. Okay, so that's in real life, right? We tried something new. We tried Zumba. And the moves are like crazy and you're like, what? I cannot keep up with this. What is happening? Or, oh, that sounds weirder than I thought, right? Whatever you come up with, it's like we retreat and we're like, old house, I took you for granted. Everything's fine, right? That's sinking back to your old habits. Like, I put myself out there and now I'm coming back and that's okay too, right? Be comfortable. But I've already put forward these plans to make build my new house. And I'm like remembering, oh yeah, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to feel. So then it's like we still have our comfort of our old house and you go back and you keep building your new house because you're like, when that house is finished, you've reached your goal. You're like, oh, I know this is what I want. And so what I want to tell you about this house analogy is dream about that change you want to make. See yourself meeting it. See yourself wearing this or that. See yourself feeling this or that. See yourself busting those Zumba moves and making up your moves of your own. And I'm going to be like, hey, that's amazing. Can I use that? Right? Or maybe you do your own thing. But, see that new house and see the potential, see the possibilities. Because when you come up with that hard decision, it's like easy to go back and retreat and be like, you know what, that was too hard. I want to just stay here with the drafty window and the leaking pipes because I at least know what to expect. And you're going to go back and forth. And eventually that brand new house is done. And you're going to be like, oh, I've reached it. I've reached my body weight. I've reached my clothes size. I'm feeling clear, mental clarity. I'm feeling more awake, more stamina. And then you keep going with that, right? Because even after I moved, it's still like, oh, in our case, I think our well is on a sulfur pocket or something. So our hot water stinks. Smells like sulfur. So I get to my new house and I'm like, what have I done? But then it's like, before panic, it's like, or maybe I panic a little bit and then it's like, okay, what needs to happen, right? So we call some water people and that's a whole other story. And it's okay. So even when you get to your goal, it's still gonna be like, there'll be things, right? We have life. maybe you would get sick, maybe a family member gets sick, maybe something big, but it's like, don't throw away that new house. Be like, deep breath. Okay. Or I put light switches in weird places that I didn't know were weird until we all moved in and we're like, oh, I wish there was a light switch right here. Or I wish there was a light switch in my garage. Anyways, things, right? Things are gonna happen that you don't think about. And so I encourage you, visualize that house. Think about the possibilities. And it's okay to want that comfort of your old house, even though you know the new one is better. And it's still you, right? It's still you. Who you are is amazing, and you are amazing. I know I said that twice. So who you are is amazing. You're going to be in a different house. So I hope that helps, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. Oh, I should mention, I have on-demand Zumba videos every day of the week. So you can, if you want to try them out, you click purchase and it gives you 24-hour access to that video. I also teach, I call it in person, but really it's through Zoom, but we can interact. I take song requests and we have a good time, and you can join me. My website will also tell you what times those virtual in-person classes are. All right, I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.